Hi, my name's Tessa. I'm here to speak with you about the Ebola virus and the outbreak investigation process. So Ebola is a virus that causes a severe illness that's usually fatal when left untreated. It does come from the filovirus family, and the species that caused the most recent outbreak was from the Zaire species. The natural host of Ebola is the fruit bat, but it can be found in other animals like gorillas. When a human comes in contact with the blood or bodily fluids of these animals or humans, they can become infected, even when the animal or the human has passed away. It does spread quickly from human to human through direct contact with blood, secretions, organs, or other bodily fluids of an infected person or animal, and with the surfaces that might be contaminated with this thing. So the symptoms include fever, fatigue, vomiting, diarrhea, sometimes internal and external bleeding. The incubation period is 2 to 21 days, and humans are not infectious until those symptoms start to present. The case fatality rate is fairly high, as you can see with this image on the right when we're comparing it to other infectious diseases like measles or SARS, or even just the regular flu. It is quite a bit higher. It does have a case fatality rate that varies from 25 to 90% of those that become infected. The populations that are most at risk of exposure to Ebola are those residing in West and Central Africa, healthcare workers, and then international travelers. As you can see in the map on the right, during the 2014-2016 outbreak, a majority of the cases were found in a handful of West African countries, Guinea, Sierra Leone, Liberia, Nigeria, Mali, and then also the United States. Some international travels brought it back to our country. There's no proven treatment for Ebola, so it's just kind of supporting people, making sure they feel comfortable, and then also just treating specific symptoms to help them hopefully survive. This map does showcase the case saturation in this region, so anywhere from no cases in the last 21 days to 4,000 cases, depending on how dark the color is. So the outbreak investigation process has several steps. It starts by preparing and planning. This happens pretty quickly once an outbreak has been identified, so forming a team, assigning roles, kind of getting connected with the bigger public health agencies like the CDC or the WHO, especially when it's a global outbreak or the potential is for it to be global. This is a rapid spread disease, so it needs to happen pretty quickly. The next step would be to verify the diagnosis. In the past outbreak, it was verified through, I think, a gorilla or chimpanzee at a lab in Virginia. So this was where they went to kind of investigate the initial source and kind of figure out who the host was, where it was occurring, where did it come from, answer those types of questions. And then they moved on to identifying and counting cases and exposed persons here in the United States. This also happens in West Africa. So identifying who's been diagnosed with the disease, who's been exposed to that individual, and then figuring out the time and place of the exposure, the symptoms that are starting to appear, and this will allow us to create a case definition. Next would be to choose a study design. Case control would fit the needs of this outbreak best due to the large size and rapid transmission. Next, we would collect risk information through a questionnaire, which is really important to understanding who's been exposed, how they were exposed, and then also kind of early detection because this is such a rapid spread disease. Next, we need to collect the data, organize it based on person, place, and time, and then we would need to collect specimens and perform laboratory analysis. There are different ways to do this, either before, during, and after symptoms present. We would move on to an environmental investigation and control measures where we would either prohibit travel or implement screenings or determine new ways of burying people to keep transmission at the lowest rate possible. We would finish up by formulating and testing a hypothesis and conducting additional studies when necessary, and then, of course, communicating findings to the public once everything's been wrapped up, which is a really important piece of the whole investigation process. Thank you.